night, the city of Lagos went agog as all routes.
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa, we break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core TV,
24-hour news station.
Welcome back. We're still on the second segment of Core Digest. I am Sheyi Martins. Welcome again. My guests are still here, Tubosun Aihoso and Wale Ogwade, for talking to us. We thank you indeed for discussing the issue of terrorism and the Nigerian economy, how it has affected investment confidence. We know that terrorist activities in every land has a way of increasing the risk of doing business in particularly anywhere globally. But what we're experiencing in Nigeria before we went away is a situation where we are beginning to see a classification whereby foreign direct investment into the country has been classified as doing well. Looking at the country and placing the nation, Nigeria, among 20 nations with the most foreign direct investment. Let's start with you, Wale.
Yeah, to me, I'm sure those who are listening to me or watching me will remember one man called Fela Anikulapo Kuti. To me, he was the Nostradamus of our time. And in one of his songs, he said, which kind of government be this? Now, paddy government be this? So what is happening is a paddy thing. I'll tell you, my brother, like Core TV is doing well. Core TV is doing well, then you receive it everywhere. The production will be okay. The quality will be okay. The environment will be okay. Then you will say, in all honesty, that Core TV is doing well.
Indeed.
But a situation where you get there, as soon as you are on air like this, boom, there is blackout. People will be saying, what did they happen? When we are here, they will see us at home. We are busy cleaning our face because the place is hot. Or they can't hear the quality of the sound of what we are saying in the studio here. Mm-hmm. Then definitely. And meanwhile, the owners will be beating their chest, running after advert agencies and companies that they should come and advertise here, that they are one of the best television stations in Nigeria. They are deceiving themselves. The same thing here. You can go and do all the arrangements. The other day they came and said that they are the best economy in Africa. But just go to Bega, it's thrown away. Go to Yanopaja. Go to Obade Shida Road in Akure. Go to Ngwanrami in Kano, Kofa Makaranta in Kaduna, or go to Ali Akilu Road in Kaduna, the same Kaduna. Go to Oba Akenzua, the Ring Road, or Oba Market in Benin. Go to Dugbe Market, or Bagi Market. You see people, poverty all over. 1. 2, all these markets that I've mentioned, the prices of foodstuff are on the increase on a daily basis. What are these index? And these are raw materials that will be needed by these so-called factories that will be set up. Mostly. And they are not there. Then, to me, what is the essence of all this classification? If it is not translated in the life, actual living standards of the people, then where are we going? Why all this classification? The other day, additional Ogun, what's the name of the minister now for
agriculture? Yeah,
was telling us that the economy, the agric is going, that they are increased foodstuff. I read little economics, and I know that if there is so much supply, the prices will come down. That's my own. I'm not an economist, but I know that the little I know about economics is that if there is so much demand, then obviously, if there's so much supply, then the prices will go down. They call it glut. Right. So, if there is so much supply, as you have said, because there will be so much food they have been producing, then we will see it translated in the prices of goods, food stuff coming down. Is it in Ebonyi, where they have Abakaliki rice? Is it even in our backyard there of Fada that they have this fountain of Fada rice? As I'm talking to you now, either Abakaliki or Fada have not been able to supply our food, our rice requirement in Nigeria. We still depend on Thailand. And we are saying agriculture has increased. Deceiving yourself, and you think you are deceiving us. Awolowo, before he died, said, you can lead all of the people. You can fool all of the people all of the time. Let me cut the others. But you cannot fool all of the people all of the time.
Let me hold you there, because the situation where a government does not have direct, because these are agencies of world bodies who classifies various countries and various governments on their performances. Because it doesn't translate yet on the street does not mean it may be wrong. So the situation of Paddy, I don't quite understand. Would you put in perspective, Tubosun, a situation where Nigeria is a desirable place to invest in spite of our terrorist situation?
Well, what I see is that there is a media hype that is at play here. Just like the football, the football association, this FIFA ranking, you know, that they do on a monthly basis. A lot of people will tell you that it does not show the reality of where Nigeria actually is in terms of ranking of countries vis-a-vis their current performance, you know, strength, and so on and so forth. Now, the Minister of Finance has told us that Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa. That we have.
She didn't say.
No, I'm coming.
She didn't say that.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Let's get that.
I'm coming.
Correct.
She was part of those that said. Of course, it emanated from the World Bank.
Indeed.
Well, we know our relationship with the World Bank.
Oh, come on.
We know our relationship with the World Bank. Now, and of course, we also know that World Bank statistics are more of this classical Adam Smith analysis of economies in terms of wealth. How much wealth have you been able to build? Contrary to what the masses will tell you, the masses analysis are they will give you the material condition of the masses. The material condition in terms of per capita income, in terms of accessibility to safe water, accessibility to quality education, accessibility to good transport system, and so on and so forth. The masses analysis will give you the true picture of the material condition of the masses. But World Bank analysis will tell you what is similar to what Adam Smith economists will tell you. They will tell you how much wealth you have been able to build over the years, how much money you have in external reserve, and so on and so on. Those are not the correct indices to determine the material condition of the people that are actually producing this wealth. So what I see is that, okay, now they have told us that by 2020 Nigeria is going to be among the 20 largest economies in the world, and that we were able to assert its footprint on the sandstone of history in terms of economic and political leadership. Now, but this is 2014, just 6 years away. Whatever you don't have now, and with the kind of leadership we have, with the kind of security problem we have, with the kind of corruption that has eaten deep into the fabrics of society, can we achieve that feat by 2020? Now, No, so what I see is that there is a connivance, a kind of collaboration between the leading ministries that are midwifing the economic rebranding of Nigeria in terms of the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of National Planning, and with their friends in the World Bank, trying to give us a picture of what is not true. And of course, they are doing their job because that is what the president wants to hear. Most of these people are not on the field. They are not on the field. Where did the World Bank get the information from? Where did he get his data from? How independent and how unbiased is the report of the World Bank? I'm telling you, most of these things were dished to them through the Minister of Finance, because the Minister of Finance is like the eye of the World Bank in Nigeria. She has been working in the system for a long time. So I do not see, don't let us be deceived. This is media hype. We know what Nigeria is. We are battling with insecurity, we are battling with corruption, we are battling with electoral violence, youth restiveness, and so on and so forth. So nobody can deceive us. We know what Nigeria is. We know where Nigeria belongs to in terms of economic position, vis-a-vis the so-called leaders who call the shot in Africa and globally.
Thank you. Well, let me borrow from your word. I mean, in 6 years,
it's an interest too.
Yeah.
You pay interest.
Yes.
If it borrows, you pay you interest.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Part of the interest is accruable to Wale because he is the one that is the voter voter awareness. And
voter educator.
Indeed, he is the voter educator. As a Nigerian, you're doing your job.
Yes.
So for this nation to move from where it is to where it ought to be, or the prospect of what it's expected to be in another 6 years, he's doing his bit.
Yes.
Whether he's doing it well or not, we will question that in the later.
Yes.
But you see, this same report that came out on Monday, the World Bank reported that not East, not West, not Central have retained the poorest geopolitical zones in Nigeria. And that has been consistent since 1985. But the same report did say that the Southwest have consistently reduced its poverty level. Would you doubt that?
Who's
Would
poverty
you
level
doubt
of who?
that?
Poverty level of
The
who?
people.
Who are the people we are talking about there? The people. No, you see, some of these reports. Honestly, I think we should not begin to give too much attention to some of these reports. Go to the street, like Mr. Wale said earlier on. Go to Yoruba Gajia, go to Abulegba, go to Agege, go to Okwaba, go to Yanokwada Ayobo, Aboru. No, you interview people. Have they been sufficiently empowered by government? This is what we are talking about. Most of the things that you see on Lagos streets, they are recently, some people were protesting in Apapa. The federal government has neglected Apapa. Despite the fact that a lot of money, federal government is generating a lot of money from the port. How has Apapa people been feeling the impact of federal government? Despite the fact that it generates a lot of revenue through this port, Tinkan and Apapa. You know, what I'm trying to say is that, you see, how do they generate this? These are things that they just package and give to them, and they now you doctor it here and there and say,
so
this is
your contention is that it is a government doctored thing.
Look at the advertorial that we see on television for every now and then. From the protectors of Nigerian prosperity.
Let me hold you there. Wale, would you
protectors of Nigerian prosperity?
Don't worry.
Would you say to that opinion as well?
Yes, I see to his opinion, and I will put a second leg to it. I thought he would go there, but he left it. He stated on one. Right. Transparency International, we all know them. Human Rights Watch International, we all know them.
Yes.
Once they bring out their report, the government will attack them, that they are not serious, that report is not in reality with what is on ground in Nigeria. Whereas these are the reports that are in reality. to the extent that their report came out to ensure that the toll gates that be established by the Nigerian police, that it garner 4 billion naira from the southeast alone. And of course...
Who measures?
What do you mean by who measures? People like us are no, look, my brother, wait.
In reality, you and I live.
I travel on the Nigerian road, and I know once in a while you travel.
Indeed.
You know that they set up road toll gates. That's the Nigerian police people.
Yes.
Collecting their tolls. But of course, thank God, and that's where I'm going. Thank God MD came. That's Abubakar.
Yes.
And of course, crushed that. But that does not mean that thing did not happen. Corruption. Transparency International, you know the level, the number we are taking, we are in Nigeria, all over the world. They will keep on debunking. And till today, the ministerial level, let me start with designing who spent 10 billion naira till tomorrow. We are there. Nobody, they think it don't go down.
An allegation.
It's an allegation, yes. But the whole thing, if it's an allegation, why didn't you just come out and say, okay, prove me wrong? Why are you now running up and down to
My brother, you are an officer of the court.
No,
so we're not going to go there.
Let's leave that.
Yes.
No, you see, there are some facts that are you can't negotiate it, you can't discuss it. We call it they are straightforward matters as an officer of the court. Yes. So these are allegations that have been on ground. The issue is that you now defend yourself. But let's leave that because there are several other issues. Talking about development in the north and south, the index that they brought.
Yes.
You two have been to the north. And I'm sure one or two people watching, or even maybe this thing too, they are watching us.
They're watching in the north, yes.
You find out that what made the people in Adamawa particularly to jubilate is because the man refused to develop. The north, the money has been taken. Before he came there, I tell you, all the schools, there are no industries. The schools, education is run by the government. Only government secondary school, government, that's what you have. You don't have private schools. Industries, forget that one. You have my individual farm settlements and so on in the north. So, to that extent, okay. But in the southwest, look at the development. The other day I was in Anambra. I crisscrossed Anambra. The road network has been improved upon. If you can say that about the north, okay. All as I talk to you now, between maybe Malimfashi and Zonkwa and Zaria, the road is still the old road. We pass it through. If you are going, I know what I'm saying. From Zaria, you go through Sama Road, then to Malumfashi. Old road. Face me, I face you road. And you're talking about development and accident. That place is one of the accident-prone axes in the north. Because from Malumfashi, they bring things to Zaria. From Zaria, it crisscross to Kaduna, to Abuja, another part of the country in terms of corn, because that's where they get corn. That's maize.
Yes.
For all the poultry in the southwest. So what am I trying to say? If you don't develop the various infrastructure, itself is insecurity. Because if your vehicle, the trucks that are bringing things from the hinterland, have issues in terms of accidents, you know how to take before you get insurance. And of course, that will scuttle your business plan. So, look, it is not just about Boko Haram alone. It is the totality of government policy being in place to ensure that things that are earmarked or approved or set out are achieved. If not, we'll have problems. So it's not about people sitting down and planning or playing pranks with the citizenry. And I tell you, whatever goes round will come round. Because they won't be in government forever. They won't be in government forever. Ask Babangida. Ask Obasanjo. They won't be in government forever. Their legacy will be what they do to ensure that after government, they too have good access. They have access to all the good things. They are in government now, so they have quick, easy access to the ambulances. If they are not in government, they will need the approval of the person in government before they even travel out. And God help them. If the man said, one of the mom's concubine is on air, they will say there is presidential or how do they call this VIP movement, and you know what I'm talking about. But what stops us from having improving on the national hospital, creating wonderful health facilities in Nigeria? Now they have now made Germany and India and maybe South Africa the 37th, 38th, and 39th states of Nigeria. When they have headache, they go there. Is it not shameful that as we talk now, doctors are on strike in Nigeria? Is it not shameful And you say, is it not part of security? Look, insecurity is not about Boko Haram alone. It's the totality of everything that makes the life of every Nigerian insecure. Because all Nigerians, by virtue of Section 33, we have all right to life.
Absolutely.
And if that life is threatened in any way, so there is insecurity.
Well, we know that even the local investments in Nigeria, it's facing a very hard time. It's not only in the northwest, all these areas which are classified as being very poor area. What does local investment portend in a place like the Niger Delta, in all of the Niger Delta states? The investments in there still remains that of foreign direct investments, with most of the companies operating in those areas. So we still see this minimal of local inputs, but yet these people are not going away. Tubosun.
Well, they are not going away because the government has not been what it should have been in terms of the royalties they pay, in terms of, do you know that some of these people don't actually pay what they are supposed to pay? There's so much tax evasion.
That's another issue.
That's another issue. What they do and get away with in Nigeria, they can't do it and get away. They can't do it elsewhere in the world. There's so much tax evasion, ecological degradation to the extent that even the compensation they pay to host communities is not what they should have been paying. Government has given them so much freedom to do whatever they like. Government is not on their neck. So that is why they are not going. And when the youth militants in the Niger Delta realize that the government is like, some people in government are actually benefiting from the activities of the various activities of these oil companies, yes, mainly oil companies. They decided to go into kidnapping, bombing of oil pipelines. Before the government of late Umaru Yar'Adua came up with the amnesty thing, because the youth and some local politicians in that part of the country realized that if they do not take their own destiny into their own hands, these companies will continue their operation, we continue to dehumanize the people, we continue to indulge in activities that lead to oil spillage and so on and so forth, rendering farmers, getting farmers out of their farms, making the fishermen to be out of job. They decided to be kidnapping these people and abducting them, using it as, demanding for ransom in the process. And they also went into bombing of oil pipelines before government now realized that it had to do something and act fast. Then the government decided to come up with the amnesty issue. But not only that, we also realized that even some of these youth, the militants in the South, some of them are oil millionaires. They have their oil wells.
Okay.
And these are some of the issues that we have in that part of the country. So if you are talking about investment in the South, basically, to me, it's just investment in the oil industry. I do not mainly investment in the oil industry, and of course we know what has been the history of that region.
Would you correlate that with what is happening in the north? Because now, listen, in a situation where we find ourselves, north, south, northeast, and all of these areas, there was the textile industry, and the textile industry employed a lot of people, not just in Kaduna. I was talking about in Borno as well, in that Damboa, because I remember Damboa particularly because I have been there 4 times. And they have industries producing singlets, vests and pants and stuffs like that. Was that terrorism in these areas? Now, for what we know now, we drove away those who operated those industries. And considering what happened to the Kaduna textile mill, as it were, it was now a shadow of itself. These investments are still reviewable and renewable. Is it not?
Yes. Before I get there, my brother again was going somewhere along the line. He mentioned pipeline. When this issue started, when the people in the Niger Delta were promised several things they were doing, give us our right now. The officers will come and say, that's the government officials. Don't worry, the issue is in the pipeline. We are working on this in the pipeline. I guess those people now say, should be a pipe they run around me, this place now. The thing where they say they won't give us, they inside pipeline. Now, Ben, now, Princewell. Oh yeah, now make we go look that pipeline. I guess they started busting the pipeline to get their own. And of course, indeed, the pipeline has now given them their succor. When they started, so that's the issue. That's one. Now, coming back to your question, it's not that it is not possible for all these things to be back. I told you the other day I was there, and I still remember the song, and I'll sing it again. When I was a small boy, I grew up in the north. My colleagues who were Hausa boys, they didn't go to school. They were not going to school, or some of them were not going to school. They will be singing, Yamakarantambo Koko, Ba Karatu Ba Sanla, Say Yawan Zagim Malang. What do they mean? That we are not going to school to do anything but to abuse our teachers.
Wallahi.
Wallahi. So, that correlation, those people now are there. They refuse to grow. Government refused to take care of them. Then, talking about close to 40 years ago, snowballing thing. We have this catastrophe on our hands. And you think you can wipe it away within 2 days or 3 days? All of you are jokers. This is something that has been on for a long time. Anybody who has gone to the north, you know what I'm talking about. You don't educate your people. You don't give them value. They have no value to life. So why won't you? So can you or any person in this studio be a suicide bomber? Somebody will call you and say, go and bomb some people, and you to bomb yourself. Will you do that? You looking at me, you. Will you do that? No, I talk of many people, eh?
I love life.
You love life. You like Igbadu. And today is Friday, no be so. But let's even assume that today is not Friday, we all love life. The other day, somewhere in Ijebu-Ife, an old woman wanted to cross. He just crossed. She didn't look at the road very well. And I was driving down. Thank God I was not on top speed. I almost hit her. Yay! An old woman, maybe around 80. An old woman around 80, who is supposed to go? Who is supposed to live life if not that type of a woman? But again, life is sweet. So for someone now to go out and bomb, where am I going? Is that, yes, this thing can come back if government plays its role.
Education and employment?
Education. The first thing is education. You see, I tell you, and people will talk about industry is the engine of growth. Lie. Mm-hmm. Lie, because I've done my research. Without those who are educated, they cannot move, they can't work, they can't keep the industry going. So if you say industry is the engine of growth, you are lying. It is education that is the engine of growth, because it is those who are educated that will grow the system. This place now, if you don't train the cameraman, if you are not trained, can you anchor this program? We're talking about training. If you are not trained, can you go inside a plane and pilot it? If you are not educated, can you go inside a trailer, a car, a machine? I mean, a scooter or a Honda, a bike. Anything, training. If you are not trained, it's only, the only thing I know people are not trained for is husband, to be a husband. But as a woman, if you don't train your daughter very well, the next time you stand, she will be packaged to you that she's not a good housewife. So life is about training, and that training is about education. They leave all these things, and they are playing lip service. Almajiri school is just on paper. Where are they? Mine is that they will use it. It's not, to me, lie is easy to lie now, because people will know that you know you are lying. Send all the television houses in Labaramaku, now let him go to all the Almajiri schools all over. Let's see these people at work. Then we'll know that, yes, you are doing that. Nomadic education, let's see these nomadic people that you are following all about. There are two different things, though. The Almajiri are different from the nomadic people. I
quite appreciate where you're coming from.
Right. So the nomadic people, let's see how they are being educated with their cattle all over. It's not about they just, maybe the government, you want to do some propaganda, some government official will quickly go and arrange some people. Then they will show them that there is nomadic education. You are deceiving yourself. Think you are deceiving me?
But the leadership of the North, have been aware of this, that education is what will cause employment and growth within the area. When we had Boko Haram, from 2009, when it escalated even further than what we are beginning to see today, industry still existed, even at the minimal. Why is the people refusing education? Because that is what Boko is pretending. That's what they pretend to us, wasn't it?
It is not that the people in the north are vast rather to education. It is the philosophy, the generational philosophy that has been entrenched in the north. Political enlightenment and political modernization was actually authored in the north by the political gladiator, the political party that had sway in the north at that time.
NPC.
The NPC, the Northern People's Congress. And you know the motto of the NPC? One North, one people.
Yes.
Arewa, Mutane, Janewa, something like that. One North, which people? The Hausa Fulani. The Hausa Fulani. So in other words, the North, as it were then, the leadership, if you look at the North, if you try to understand the North, you understand the philosophy of the North, the developmental process in the North from the point of view of the NPC. In other words, it is whatever the Hausa Fulani political, traditional, religious leadership come up with that is supposed to be representative of everybody in the North. That is not true. That is what led to the agitation of the minorities in the North. For their own states and so on and so forth, like the Middle Belt Forum and so on and so forth, the ones that were led by Joseph Taka in those days and so on. So what I see in the North is that those that claim to be represented, look at what they said at this so-called national dialogue. No, they didn't really come up with anything progressive. Rather, they were always waiting for the South. Those that represent the delegate from the South.
Oh, you mean representatives?
I'm talking of the representative of the North now, because there were people that actually were appointed or were nominated to represent the North as a region. The three regions, we have the Northwest, the Northeast, and the North Central. Most of their contributions, most of their proposals were not actually radical. They were not progressive. In fact, they were always countering everything that the Southern delegates were proposing. Look at the issue of derivation. Look at the issue of state creation and so on. They didn't even come up with anything to show that the North was ready for any progress. And that is why it is very easy for people like Boko Haram to come up and say, we are actually against Western education. If Western education has been entrenched in the philosophy of northern system for many years, it would have been difficult for them to launch their terrorism using the North as a base. It is because there is nothing on ground in the North that will have repelled or that will have discouraged Boko Haram from starting their insurgency from the North.
Well,
over the years, for decades.
Time is no longer on our side. Very quickly, Wale, solution right now: terrorism and confidence, investor confidence.
Well, the only thing is that for government to really sit down, map out a strategy, and ensure that the root cause of Boko Haram, which is education, is nipped off. One young man in the North, I can't remember his name now, started a campaign. I can't remember his name. We were in the civil society together. I can't remember his name now. No, not Sonny, Almajirenchi Sin. Now, they wanted to eradicate the concept of Almajiri in the North. And I didn't know what happened. The thing just faded off like that. The issue is that government should look at the Almajiri thing. Ensure that, we do it in Lagos and all that Southwest.
Yes.
There is a law that any child that is found roaming the streets during school hours should be arrested. And of course, the parent, they trace it to the parent and get them arrested too. Why don't you do that in the North? It's a possible thing. Collaborate with all the Northern governors. Give them enough funds, build schools. And to me, it's not a big deal. For the cattle people, that's the nomadic people, get all these trailers. Get them, what do they call them now? This houses, this thing that they put on trailer, they move it around. I just forgot that they put on container. Yes. These containers. Yes. Get them, put them on trailers, move them around the various places that these people are with their nomadic teachers for them and all. You see, by the time you begin to train them, in the Southwest here, we have what you call adult education. Let them have an adult education school. You see, by the time you begin to reorientate them, most of them will not be willing tools in the hand of these Boko Haramers. That is one. Then another important thing is the economic independence. What do they do to encourage these people? Is there anything government? We too in the Southwest, you are left on our own. As I'm talking to you now, you have grown white hair, not because of age, but because of stress. But again, to take it further, I want people to join us on Voters Awareness Initiative, www.votersawareness-initiative.org. Or if you want to be my friend on Facebook, Wale Ogwande, because let's take this conversation further, because we are in the era of voter education. And
Indeed.
So Voters Awareness, Wale Ogwande on Facebook, or Wale Ogwande Chambers on Facebook, if the other one is full of...
Well, it's important because our viewers get in touch with us on Facebook, Twitter, and of course you can watch this program as well on YouTube. We want to say a big thank you for coming. We know terrorism has a way of affecting the economy of any nation, and it is a fact that education would increase the confidence of the people to do something and find a change. We thank you for coming, Wale Ogwande, and Tubosun Hansu.
To God be the glory.
Well, from all of us here, it's been a wonderful program, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Unfortunately, for technical reasons, we weren't able to put through your messages, but it will be there. We will be putting through your messages in due course. I am Sheyi Martins on Core Digest. I bid you goodbye.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.